Okay, factoring trinomials. And you see right here, this watch for the shortcut. I'm serious about that. I'm not going to tell you the shortcut first. Watch for it, and at the end we'll see if you have figured it out. We're going to use some of the knowledge we've kind of practiced over the past couple of days. All right, I need to factor this trinomial. Does it have a greatest common factor? It does not have a greatest common factor. So if it didn't have a greatest common factor, what's the next thing that we did? We split it down the middle, right? How do I split it down the middle when there are only 3 terms?
You separate the second line.
You would do, and it's x squared plus 9x, so I'm pretty sure you would split the second one, so it would be x squared plus 9 and then x plus 20.
So you're saying separate the 9 and the x. All right, any other thoughts? Some of you, I think, probably worked on this last year. Go ahead, Marissa.
Oh, never mind, it didn't make sense.
All right, Sonia, what do you think?
I don't want to do like split the middle and have like x2 plus 3x and 3x plus 1.
You're on to something. You are. She's on to something. So this is what we're going to do. We've got to rewrite it. We can't split it in the middle if we don't rewrite it. And remember what I did on the board just a second ago with thinking of 2 numbers? That's where this comes into play. And so you will always look at this last number. And this only works, you guys, this only works when our leading coefficient is 1. We have to do it a little differently if our leading coefficient is something other than 1.
Wait,
So I need to look at this last number and this middle number.
Oh, so we're looking for something that goes into 9.
I am looking for 2 numbers that when I multiply them, they are 20, but when I add them together, they are 9. Take a second, think of those numbers. What are they?
4 and 5.
4 and 5. Those numbers are 4 and 5. Now, if finding those numbers if that's hard for you, let me know, and I'll show you a way to figure it out every time that will work for you, okay? So what I'm going to do with those 2 numbers, I'm going to rewrite this middle term. So I've got x squared. Would you guys agree that 4x plus 5x is the same as the 9x up there? All right, so 4x plus 5x plus 20. Now that I have that, I can split it down the middle. And this should be easy peasy because you guys were so good at that. I saw your homework scores. You were amazing. Greatest common factor on the left.
2.
Ooh.
No,
It's
1
just
is
x.
1x, right? Factor that out and you would be left with
x.
x plus 4. Greatest common factor on the right.
5 is not 4 times.
Positive or negative?
Positive.
What am I left with?
X plus 4.
Do I have a greatest common factor now?
Yes.
So I rewrite this as x plus 4, x plus 5. Now let me stop right here before I go on to the next one. You guys told me the numbers were 4 and 5. What if you said the numbers were 5 and 4? Is this still going to work if you had it flipped?
Yes.
It will totally work. Yes, ma'am.
So does it matter which one you put first, the greatest common factor and the other one? Because
No.
Alex, it would mark it wrong.
And something else was wrong. The order of the parentheses shouldn't matter. So I'll need to look at that with you. If that shows up, will you show me? I would say maybe a sign was flipped or something if I had to guess. But no, you could definitely say x plus 5 times x plus 4. That means the same thing. That's a really good question. Okay, let's come here. I've got opposite signs, and when I figure this out, I've got to take those signs. I need 2 numbers that when I multiply them, they are 12, but when I add them together, so here's my 12, they're negative 8.
-6 and -2.
Wow, she got that fast. Is anybody stuck on it? Some of us are stuck on it, and it's okay to tell me later that you're stuck on it, and I'll show you how to get those numbers. -6 and -2. What do I do with those two numbers? Can you guys take out your earbuds for me during the lesson? Thanks. What do I do with those two numbers? I rewrite. Good. X squared minus 6x minus 2x plus 12. We've got 4 terms, so that makes it really easy to split it down the middle, right? Now we can use factoring by grouping. I love that you guys are doing it without me. That makes me really happy. Greatest common factor on the left.
X. I'll do
I'm not going to do X.
Good.
next
And
one.
then the -2.
So why am I going to use a -2?
Because you don't want the X to be negative.
Yeah, I want that to be positive, so I'm going to factor it out. Good. I would be left with X. And this is the one that tricks people as I've watched over your shoulders. Positive 12 divided by a -2 is a -6. And if you don't get a matching parenthesis, that's kind of your double check to know that you did something wrong. That's where you need to either reevaluate or ask me for help. So Marissa, just to shake things up, I could totally say right now X minus 2 and put my greatest common factor of X minus 6 behind. If that drove anybody crazy, flip it and put it the other way. Sorry. Okay, we're going to do 2 more together. I need 2 numbers that when I multiply them, they're -15, but when and hold on, don't shout them out. Give everybody a chance for a second, all right? But when I add them together, they're 2. Now, if you're a person that is struggling with that, this is what I suggest. Find all the ways you can multiply to get to 15. So I know 1 times 15, and if you're not good at your multiplication, you'll use your calculator. Does 2 go into 15? No. Does 3? Yes. 3 times 5. 4 doesn't go into it, and then I'm back to 5. So these are the only ways that I can multiply to get to 15. Now that you've got those, you could look and see what your signs need to be to get to 2. So let's see. These 2 are going to work, but what do my signs have to be? I want a positive 2, so which one has to be negative?
3.
Good. Rewrite. X squared minus 3x plus 5x minus 15 split it down the middle and factor by grouping. Any questions? I really appreciated seeing a lot of you work on that on your own. That was awesome. And it looks like, as I'm peeking out there, a lot of you are working on this last problem. We'll save this guy for Monday. All right, we'll just factor today. I need 2 numbers that when I multiply them, they are 9, but when I add them, they're 6. That one should be not too bad. What are my 2 numbers? 3 and 3, right? 3 and 3. Rewrite. A squared plus 3a plus 3a plus 9. Split it down the middle. A times A plus 3. What's the greatest common factor on the right? 3, A plus 3. All right, I've got this greatest common factor now of A plus 3. Oh, and look what's left behind.
Did you
A
just
plus
put a
3.
squared side right there?
Absolutely. Or A plus 3 squared. My only question is if in our math software, if they would consider this not factored because you don't see both parentheses. So we'll look at that together. I'd like to know what they say. But you're right. A plus 3 times A plus 3 means exactly this. Yes, ma'am.
Did you look up the sign? It says, oh, it's at 11:05.